Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, dang, YouTube banning me on the radio? Like,
You're too controversial, bro. You
right.
gotta go to Rumble soon. Rumble only.
Everybody probably looking like they sitting around waiting, like, what's going on with the stream? Okay. Because I was wondering, nobody came in, it just said 0. I'm like, what's going on? Okay. Anyway. Well, now we started. So I guess we got to start that over anyway.
It's all good.
So I'm gonna delete this one. Subscribe to TC Prime.
Yeah.
So welcome everybody. Welcome back to another Afterpill live stream. We were having some technical difficulties. I really didn't press the live button. I thought I pressed the live button, but I didn't. But anyway, we got a special guest here, TC Prime. Well, I'll let you explain what's going on. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, so I started, the YouTube channel TC Prime. That's my personal brand, but I started a new one which has more of the dating and modern relationships type content, also society and life. It's called Unfollow the Script. I think Afterpill's got it pinned right there. If you guys want to check that out, it's brand new. I think it has like 9 subscribers on it, but that's the channel where I'm going to be. I can film in my car after the gym and just like real raw talks. So you guys want to do me a fave and just check that channel out? Yeah.
Go over there and check it out. Go over there and check the new channel out. It is Unfollow the Script. You can put it in the search engine on YouTube at Unfollow the Script. Devin says, good evening, y'all. What's going on? What's going on? Come in and say hey to the chat. Come on in and talk some ish. I know some people got a lot of stuff to say. This is going to be a good stream because I definitely have a lot to say. And let me start off by saying I got to give a disclaimer. I am not advocating for the abuse of women, or I'm not trying to make fun of domestic violence situations. I knew women growing up who dealt with some things, very serious things. So it's not something that I'm just hee and ha-haing about. No, I'm just breaking down, the things, just sticking to the facts of the case, right? That's all I'm doing. So don't come in here talking about, crying and all that stuff. Listen, I don't want to hear all that.
Did you get a lot of people angry at your last video or something?
No. I think we agreed, and I kept it to subscribers only. So so that kind of helped. Devin says, I got you, big dog. I subscribe. There we go.
Appreciate you, Devin. Appreciate you.
Yep, come on in if you're new here. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and subscribe to Unfollow the Script, TC Prime. But we got a lot of things to discuss. Hold up, I forgot I wrote some notes down. 1 second. But yeah, we got a lot to talk about, man. This is some more news. Some more news have come out about this case, and of course, they're dividing and conquering the normies, like always. It's the same old script. You got people who are saying, "Oh, no, Diddy is innocent." Now, I don't think he's innocent. I don't think he's innocent now. And now, as far as how far they're trying to stretch, now I think he's innocent on some things. They're trying to stretch way too far. But as far as being innocent, as like, as far as violence, domestic violence, and things of that nature, and possibly other victims and things like that. No, I don't think he's innocent. However, I think that the way that they're trying to portray Cassie as if she's just, he coerced me and, I didn't have a way out and, I was scared for my life. And I'm just sitting here like, tell me more. Tell me more.
They're definitely trying to positioning her like a damsel in distress, helpless victim, right? And speaking of unfollowing the script, I mean, the script that society's trying to play with this is, hey guys, there's a big old distraction over here. Have fun with this Diddy case.
Yes.
And I think I heard you in your other video where you were like, you know, the whole point of this case is gonna be to kind of scare men, right, in
Yeah,
general, in
for
terms
sure.
of, putting that fear in them that, "Oh my god, you know, don't be too masculine to women because, you know, something like this might happen to you."
Right.
Um, but yeah, as far as the case goes, I just find it baffling that 12 random people in a jury can just decide on decide on something, you know, without even knowing you, right? That's just that whole system seems kind of
Yeah,
weird.
it's see my whole thing is it's a women are empowered, but then at the same time they're victims.
They can play
So
both sides.
they can play both sides, which I think, maybe it'll never change. Maybe I'm just hoping that it could change, possibility that it change, but there is no way that we can have a fair system, a fair and just system, if clearly they can go in there and be just like, well, I didn't know, I was 23. Well, last time I checked, you can serve a life sentence. You can go and serve the military. You can go and purchase a handgun and a rifle. So I think you're a pretty grown up. But they can go into the courtrooms and just, act like, oh, big bad man, he talked me into all of this stuff. I was only 23. He was 17 years older than me. He was a big grown man. And I'm like, this is where we're going now? Is this
Yeah,
where we're going now?
are 18-year-old women adults or are they not adults? Also, you know, you got a lot of women are now saying, "Oh, the prefrontal
Yeah, the
cortex in a woman
prefrontal lobe.
doesn't
What?
develop until 24, 25." I'm like, "Oh, okay, what does that mean?" Does that mean you have the brains of children like before that? Like what's going on there?
Right. And let me play this clip. Let me play this clip, and we're going to talk about it. This is a news clip. As we all know, well, some of us know, she testified in court today and gave a little rundown. I'm just going to let the news explain, how things were put, and we're going to go over a few things. So I'm going to play this out loud.
Ventura testifying today in the trial against Sean Diddy Combs. The former girlfriend of the hip-hop mogul accuses him of coercing women into abusive sex parties and becoming violent if they refuse. Scripps News national correspondent Alex Miller live in New York with the latest on all of this. And Alex, you've been inside the courtroom. What can you tell us is happening at this hour?
Well, Cassie has been testifying for about an hour and a half, and that is the time that she's negotiated with the government and with the defense because she is 8 months pregnant, roughly, and so she gets a break every 90 minutes or so, and that's how long she has been on the stand today. This is the first time that she is seeing Sean Combs in person in roughly 6.5 years. When she walked into the room, he did not look at her. He continued looking straight ahead. She is in a very form-fitting brown dress, visibly very pregnant. She has been very soft-spoken over the course of the morning.
So they're already painting this, yeah, damsel in distress. She's very pregnant.
She's
And
pregnant, right?
right.
Yeah.
And she's, visibly like, okay, we know what's going on. And I'm
Yeah,
not
that
and I'm not saying that, you get what I'm saying.
yeah, the
I'm
media is
talking
gonna
about how they're painting the picture for the jury, right? That's all they're doing. Painting the picture, making sure, okay, this is the victim, right? She had nothing to do with anything. She is the victim, nothing else, and that's it.
they even mentioned Diddy that he didn't even look at her, right? He
Right.
just stared straight ahead, didn't even
Right.
glimpse of her presence, right?
Right. Just making it like, yeah, she means nothing to me. Right? But let's
Yeah.
continue.
Taking her time answering these questions, taking deep breaths, particularly when she's talking about some of the more graphic parts of the relationship that she's had with Sean Combs. She's rubbed her belly at times, but really, so far in this first hour and a half, we've really gone through really the highlights of the issues in their relationship, and then starting out with from the very beginning. She talked about the abuse right off the bat, saying that he would mash her head, knock her over, drag her, kick her, knock her in her head if she was on the
Now that kind of stuff, now he should be locked up. Now that kind of abuse, that kind of stuff like that, I don't condone any of that. No. Now he should be arrested. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, but as far as everything else, I don't know how far they're trying to reach. I don't know how far the violence goes. I don't know how far other
They're
victims
trying
goes.
they're trying to get him on this, Epstein trafficking, just this huge, sex trafficking ring, right?
Right.
They're trying to make an example out of him.
Well,
Um,
I don't think they're really gonna release the full list. I think
the
this may be the seal the deal right here. Like
Yeah, possibly.
to keep him quiet because Diddy knows. Diddy definitely knows. But I don't think they can just mess around and like, oh, he hung himself in jail and that's it with Diddy. I think we kind of know what's going on if they try to pull that card again because they already pulled it already what was his name, Epstein, wasn't it? Yeah, Epstein.
Yeah.
They already pulled the card with them.
So,
So
AP, let me ask you this: Is this just a he said she said case,
I don't
or
think so.
like?
I don't know. No, for nah. Uh, Diddy is known to throw these parties. Like this is no secret. Everybody that you can think of, big executives, presidents, big moguls, actors, everybody has been to a Diddy party. Now I can't say what they were involved in or if anything at all, if they did go. But as far as like knowing that, hey, Diddy throws some crazy parties, maybe we should show our face. I mean, I've seen Trump do a cameo
Yeah,
at one of Diddy's parties back in the 90s.
yeah, I know Diddy throws the parties, but I'm talking about like, okay, like, Cassie probably agreed in the beginning to do all this weird kink stuff because some women are into that, right? But there comes a point where she says that she wanted out and he forced her not to be out and then hit her. Then that's the he said. Well, we do have him physically
We
on
have a
camera
video,
abusing her, so we do
right?
know that he did that. But in terms of forcing her to stay with him, like that's the he said, she said. He'll need
Yeah,
receipts for that.
that's what I'm not buying. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. So you mean let's continue a little bit, then I'm gonna get into it.
The ground, and she said it happened too frequently, that there were violent arguments that turned often into physical abuse, and that he asked her within the first year of their relationship to begin these freak-offs. She said that when he asked her, that her stomach fell into her butt, that she was only 24 years old, and that she really couldn't comprehend how somebody would want their girlfriend to be doing something along the lines of what Sean Combs was asking her to do, but that she not only loved him so much that she felt the need to do it, but also that she felt it was her responsibility as his girlfriend to do this. And so over the course of years, she said he initially planned everything and then it became her job to set everything up, but that
This is conflicting. This is conflicting because okay, common sense would tell me that any woman, being introduced and she's not down, hey, I need to remove myself from this. Like, no, I thought it was just me and you. I'm not down to do any of this. Yeah, like I'm not cool with this. I don't care about the career. I don't care about this. No, I'm not doing it. But okay, so you explain all these feelings that you had. It's like, hey, this may not be right. But then you go and proceed. You didn't fall in love with him just so as soon as you met him. There was a time period that you fell in love with him, and then you partook in all of these parties and all of this. But now you're saying that you did it because. So did you do it because this is something that the defense is going to bring up? Did you do it because you were in love? Or did you do it because you were coerced and he was threatening you and being violent? Which one is it? Because these are conflicting statements. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I personally think that, she was in love with him, right? And she was willing to do kind of whatever he wanted to do. Diddy was already known as like a sexual deviant, right? A deviant guy. And the stuff that I guess she talks about that, he like hired prostitutes to do all this weird stuff to her. She could have said no at first, and that's the thing. Like, she decided to go forward with it, but I guess it got to a point where, you know, she didn't want to do it anymore, and that's the thing. That's the whole question here. When she did try and get out, right? Did he let her, or um, did he like try and extort her, or give her death threats and say, "Oh, you ain't leaving because I'm gonna
Right.
ruin your life," or all that stuff? And if she's got the receipts, and she can prove that, she can just show emails, texts, right?
Right. Now,
So
now, now, she definitely has some evidence. She definitely has some things on him, and that probably happened. I would say I don't think this initially happened. I think by the time she got too deep in, I think by the time she got too deep in, and then she realized like I don't want to do this anymore. But then by then, you kind of, not trying to give him an excuse, but he kind of got attached to her. This is something that we've been doing for years, and all of this. So now you want to leave. So you just no, we're not doing that. And then like I said, not trying to make excuse for domestic violence and all that. I understand it on that psychological level. I'm just trying to break it down. But now you're saying no, you're not going anywhere. Now we've been doing this for years. You've been down this whole time. Now you're saying you want to leave me. So I don't think this is just something that happened just on the initial front. I think on the initial front, this is Diddy. So it's like, okay, Bad Boy Records, multi millionaire. He can really change my life. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's call
Cassie
a
would
spade a
be
spade.
nothing without Diddy. Yeah.
Exactly. So don't sit up here and say like, oh, I was 24 years old. Girl, you're halfway through your 20s. Like you're telling me that you have no common sense? None.
This is Yeah, this is like another Harvey Weinstein, right? A lot of these actresses went and auditioned for him, and he gave him, these roles, but he was doing some creepy stuff at the same time.
Right.
And then they want to come out, years later and talk about, oh, he came out of the bathroom and showed me his hoo
Right.
ha. He opened up his robe, right? So I still think Diddy is an idiot for actually beating her and like physically abusing her. One,
Right.
because that's just that's crossing the line.
Right.
Um, and what you said might be true in terms of she got so deep into it, and she might have been like a great middle manager for him. She was
For
like
sure.
great at setting up the parties, great at bringing in other
Exactly.
women, and he didn't
I
want to
think
lose that.
I think the
And
I think the rabbit hole goes deep. I don't think she just sat back and just not only just partook in it. I think that she was also heavily involved in getting
rec-
other girls
recruiting,
in. If
yeah,
there are minors, if were minors involved, I think that she was directly or indirectly involved in minors. If there was some involvement with minors, the drugs. I don't think she's just because she was too close to him. You can't sit up here and tell me that she just I'm just playing the I never seen anything. No, you knew very well what was going on.
maybe she was the Ghislaine Maxwell of for Epstein. How she
Right.
was like the
Right.
top tier
Exactly.
woman,
Exactly. And
right?
they've named some women. I'm gonna have to review the documents again, but they named a few women in his camp that were involved. That she named actually that she got on the stand and named. So let me check out some of these comments real quick. Devin says rich people problems. We're gonna talk about that because you think it's rich people problems. You think it's rich people problems. See normies, they don't think that this stuff be happening like under their nose. Listen, guys. I'm gonna tell you right now that there are people in your neighborhood right now who go under, I'm not gonna say, but you can find this stuff and they go look for their sex parties in a city near you. There are little hotel parties, little events that you have to get screened for, that you have to go through your STD testing for before you get a listen. This stuff happens on an everyday thing. You just don't know about it. You just don't have a clue. But this is not something that's just that is just rich people are doing. Nah, this is pretty known. Swingers and alternative lifestyle people, they do this stuff all the time. Now, rich people just do it on a different level, right? They get yachts and bring in 100 IG models and run through all of them, and they on that cocaine heavy and X pills and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, this stuff happens on an everyday level. But let's
Also,
continue. Go ahead.
the before you move on, like the definition of sex trafficking, like when I was growing up, right, and I was learning about sex trafficking, I was like, oh, it's these weird people shipping in these women who are these underage women like through boats and stuff. But the now definition of sex trafficking is flying out some OnlyFans models that are
Yep.
over 18 and just
Yep.
having fun with them. What? Like
This
what?
is setting, and this is where all men should be, on watch now, because this is going to set the tone moving forward. What is considered sex trafficking? What do you mean? I didn't bring her against their will. These SDX workers were willing. They are willing participants, and yes, I paid for a plane ticket, for them to come over here, and I did pay them, for some services.
Everybody in the chat right now is probably talking to somebody who's out of state, and at one point or another, they're going to pay for the ticket for that woman to come and have her, do the whole let's go to the restaurants, let's be lovey dovey, and she can go back and say, "Oh, I was sex trafficked."
And you know what? Who was that? Who was that just recently? It was somebody recently. It was an NBA player. It was an NBA player. What's his name?
What do you get
Dang,
caught up for?
NBA player. He brought the models to Dubai. He brought the models. I'm gonna look it up real quick. NBA models, Dubai. Who was that? NBA.
Not John Morant, right?
No, it wasn't John Morant. NBA player leave models in Dubai. Who was that? Let's see. Dang, what was his name? Anyway, I'm gonna find
Come on, chat, help us out. Who was the NBA player?
I'm gonna find it. But anyway, the dude he brought models to Dubai, and he promised them, hey, give me a good time, and I'm gonna pay your rent, and we're gonna have a good time, or whatever. So of course, they had a good time, but he didn't pay for their plane ticket or pay for their rent. And guess what? Now they're saying,
Oh, I know who you're talking about. It's
who was it?
Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown. That's who it was. Antonio
Yeah.
Brown. Antonio Brown took the IG models out to Dubai, Dubai, and had his time with it. Had some good times. And now they're saying, because
That's
they released
risky. If you're Antonio Brown, what are you doing, bro? Like that's risky as hell.
hey, I don't understand. Just here, like you're gonna risk your freedom, not doing. I mean, you told them that you were gonna do this first and foremost. Pay the chicks and go about your day. That's your lifestyle. Pay the chicks and go about your day.
Some dudes are just reckless out here, man.
It's ridiculous. But he paid. I mean, he took the chicks to Dubai, promised them to the plane ticket and to come back and all that stuff, and then turn around not pay. Now that's just crazy to me. Come on now, like come on, like you enjoyed your time with the chicks.
He might just be trying to flex his power. Some people who have all that money, right? They're like, I can do that, I can get away with it because of who I am. And
exactly, I don't get it. But now they're trying to say, oh, I'm gonna go online and tell everybody basically you sex trafficked us. Listen,
yeah.
I keep telling guys, y'all think they don't know the game. Listen, they've already planned their out before you even thought of something.
That's why you gotta keep your receipts, guys. If you're going to restaurants, keep the freaking take a picture of the receipt. Be like, we went to the movies, we went here,
Yep.
we went there, had a great time. Here's the text that we were, have. Just keep all your receipts, guys.
Yep. Who's all in here? I don't see anybody. But yeah, keep those receipts. Let's continue this video.
She says she set everything up at his direction. We went through the beginning parts of their relationship, how he signed her to his record label, and that they put out an album. And shortly after they put out that album, it was her 21st birthday in Las Vegas, and he kissed her in the bathroom, something that she says she wasn't expecting. But after that, he'd invite her to his hotel that he was staying in New York City while his apartment was being renovated, where he would teach her about oral sex, and that they eventually had sex on a boat in Miami. And after that, she said she thought they were in a monogamous relationship because that was something that was expected of her, even though at the time, actually, she had a boyfriend, but he expects faithfulness from her. And so she assumed that it was coming from him, but that it just was not the case. We talked a lot about the relationship and the expectation and his moods. He incessantly called her and texted her. If she did not respond, his security, his staff would do the same. He made sure, she says, that he lived close to her, within walking distance or a short drive when they lived in New York and when they lived in LA. And if she wasn't responding, he sent his people to find her. She said,
so this is not good reporting. This is not good reporting. She's jumping timelines. She's jumping timelines. You can clearly tell she's jumping timelines. You jump from all the way from a first kiss when we first met, and now he's making sure security knows where you're. No, that it doesn't. Common sense tells me that's not how that happened in the timeline. We were together, for 12 years. Through when we got to the middle, things started to get a little shaky. Little domestic stuff started going on, and okay, you want to leave? I'm gonna make sure that security knows where you are. You're not leaving me. You're not leaving me. This doesn't happen. Okay, yeah, we kissed, first kiss, and then we went and had sex on the yacht, and then now I call my security. Yeah, y'all make sure. Yeah, she's trying to leave. Make sure y'all know where she. Nah, it didn't happen like that. This is bad reporting. Clearly they have
They have a
painted a certain way.
They have a script.
Yeah, but basically, this is not, because normie people, they're gonna look at this like, dang, like this whole time, he had people. No wonder she couldn't leave. So they're already painting the picture, because the media is gonna persecute you too, right? So they're trying to gain public favor. We know how this works.
You know what? I have a philosophy too. Like, if the media is in lockstep with like one kind of consensus, I believe the opposite of what the
What's
media
going
is
on,
pushing.
John?
So yeah, I'm highly sus of the media, and if they're totally for like 90% Cassidy, that's really sus to me. They clearly have an agenda and a way they want to kind of portray him.
Yeah. Who are these guys? Who are these guys in the chat? I don't know these guys in the chat. But yeah,
I've seen some sus comments.
Yeah, I see some sus comments coming in. I thought I put it on subscriber only mode. Let me get some of these guys up out here. But John says R. Kelly 2.0. We're gonna talk about it, John, because I just don't understand. I just don't get it. And my thing is, what is Cassie actually? What is Cassie actually the victim of? Right? We understand we understand the what you call that, the domestic side of it, right?
Yeah.
We understand the domestic side of it, which, like I said, I don't condone any of that. I think that is weak. I think that is cowardly for any man to do that, to a woman. Of course, we're not talking about self-defense or anything, but just plain Jane, just beating on a woman just because. I think that's crazy.
Let me ask you a question, because I saw one take that said that Cassie already got like a settlement privately,
Right.
and then that video went viral, and now she's she's got nothing else to gain. She already got that, payout. Why
Right.
is she doing this now? Is it because she just genuinely thinks he's an evil man and wants to like put him away? Or what do you think about that angle to it? Like, do you think this thing went viral? She start to kind of see all the support she had on social media and
Right.
emboldened her to get up and try to get more money from him? Or what do you
I
think about that
think.
angle?
Well, one, I don't. Well, now it's in the Fed's hands now. So the Fed is trying to persecute him. So when they want to subpoena anybody they want to, they're going to subpoena you. And the thing is, Cassie was the key to open up the larger box. So since she was a key person in unlocking all of this, and she had receipts on top of receipts on top of receipts. So not only is she a key witness to some of the improper behavior of Diddy, she's also a mastermind behind it over the years. Um, but truth be told, for her to get up on stand, they probably signed some kind of document saying that, hey, don't persecute me. We're signing this. I forgot the name of the document, but it's basically you can get on stand but you can't persecute me for things I'm going to say. I forgot the name of it. So she probably signed some kind of documents like that. And I mean, yeah, she's just a key witness. I don't think she has anything else to gain per se. But I mean, hey, now it's in the Fed's hands, so now nobody has a choice. So yeah, I mean, she can't because you can't really. It's the Feds. No, I'm not going to get on stand.
You,
I
you
don't want
think
to get on stand.
you think part of her still really loves him and is just jealous at this point,
Of
and she's just being
course.
vindictive?
MSK, what's going on? Blake Bradley, what's going on? Kim Porter would be proud of Cassie. I guess so. But is she jealous? I mean, that was the whole reason. That was the whole reason for the lawsuit. That was the whole reason for the lawsuit. Because from what I've read originally it was just an ask. It was just an ask. It was an under the table ask. Hey, listen, like I want this. I have these, tapes. You used to abuse me. Blah 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 blah. And her current husband, is a mastermind behind that.
Yeah.
Behind getting that lawsuit filed and getting that money. But they had a video. They had a video of her husband storming out of the courtroom when she started talking about some of the things, some of the things that she was involved in, and I'm
Oh
like,
my
did he
goodness, how
not?
embarrassing! How
Yeah,
embarrassing, bro.
I don't think, and I don't put it past men anymore. I really don't. I don't think he knew the extent.
She must have freaking did a good job fooling him.
Oh,
That's
of
crazy.
course, but she's beautiful. She's
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah, I mean, when guys get in front of women like that, I mean, they're like deers in headlights. It just like they're mesmerized. Oh, this is a beautiful woman, and
That
all masculine logic turns off. Yeah, that's how it is.
that's a black pill that not a lot of men know, is that a lot of women are more deviant than men.
Oh, for sure.
You just they're not open about it at
No, they're
all.
not open about it at all. But when they got to talking about because one of the SEX workers were like, well, it wasn't Diddy. It wasn't Diddy, and I posted this in my community tab. It wasn't Diddy that told him to give her a golden shower. It was her that said,
Wow.
"Give me a golden shower,"
I
and it
believe
was
it.
her that said that, "Hey, you're not doing this right. We need to bring somebody else in here. He's not doing it right." And I read that, and this is in the court documents. I read that, and I was like, "Whoa, this is deeper. This is deep, and this is probably why he stormed out because now I'm thinking that okay, because now it's in the federal hands. Now I think there's some things that's going to come out that is not going to make her look much like a victim. Because if they continue to question her, now if the persecution were, if they were smart, they would cease to stop putting her on the stand. Because if they keep putting her on the stand, some more things are going to be revealed, and it's going to mess up. It's going to mess up a lot. It's going to mess up what they're trying to prove. Now it's going to get into, okay, she was very well knowledgeable about what was going on. She was very well in tune about what was going on. So if they were smart, they'll stop putting her on the stand.
I gotta see that video of her husband leaving, storming out of the courtroom. That's probably
storming out of the courtroom because they got into very
I want
grim
everybody
details.
in the chat. I want everybody in the chat to realize that could be you if you married an OnlyFans girl that used to do OnlyFans and record herself on camera. That could be you. All right, so think twice before marrying that.
Take that.
Yeah.
Basically, but this is crazy. This is crazy, and I'm just thinking about like this dude. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the extent that he knew what she was involved in.
Of course not. She's not gonna tell him.
I think she sat there and told him. They sat down on the couch, right? Yeah, he made me, do some things. She probably brought up like, yeah, we were involved in, a few threesomes, nothing crazy, and or better yet, some things I just don't want to talk about. I don't want to relive those things. And guess what he said? It's okay. You tell me when you're ready. As a matter of fact, you don't have to tell me at all. I understand. He's a bad guy. He made you. You were involved in threesomes that you didn't want to be a part of, and he took advantage of you. That ninja got in the courtroom and he heard some of that stuff. That ninja that ninja got up and started running around the courtroom. That ninja caught the Holy Ghost when he heard that. He's like, oh yeah, she the one. She told me to give her the golden shower, not Diddy. That ninja like, oh.
You know what? He's probably looking at her like she never told me to do that to her. She doesn't want me to do that stuff to her.
Oh no, that was her nasty phase.
Yeah,
that was her nasty phase. That's over with.
Yeah, and that sucks for him because just to know that your girl did all that stuff with other men and she wouldn't do it with you. That's brutal. That is brutal.
And another thing too, like the court system does a good job at treating women like children. And it's okay, so we made all this progress, for women to they first of all they've achieved more than just equality. And the stats back this up. They're hired more frequently than men. They get more, management positions than men. They're just more in favor as far as the workplace goes. And who discovered this? I think it was it Google? I think it was Google. There was last year. They tried to go in and find a discrepancy in pay, right? People were saying the whole gender gap thing. What they ended up finding was the reverse, that they were paying women more on average than they were paying the men in the company on average. So that kind of debunked that whole, women are still not being paid more. A lot of women are being paid more, especially with Gen Z.
A lot of women are being overpaid. Yeah, look at the WNBA. That loses money every year.
Exactly.
And they want to be paid the same as NBA athletes?
No, absolutely not.
Where's the logic?
Nobody.
Where's the logic?
No logic at all. Who's going to watch that? Women are not even see. And that's the thing. Women are screaming, talking about, yeah, men need to support the WNBA. How about women go and support the WNBA? And then
no, they'd rather go watch the men play because they are all over the men, right? They're attracted to the men.
But my whole point is like the divorce courts, child custody courts. I mean, the courts in general tend to treat adult women like children. So my thing is, which one is it? Right? Because the courts they absolve women from all accountability, all responsibility, and it's like, okay, just because this man had power, because this man had money, because this man had connections, it just obsolete. Like, okay, he was the aggressor. He was the aggressor. The aggressor. You know, he coerced her into all of this stuff, and you know, she was the victim. She wanted to be a musician, and he promised her all these things. And I'm like, okay, so can women think on their own or not?
Like, he's got everything stacked against him. Like you just said, everything you just said. He's got all this money, influence, power, and then also they have the video of him beating her. Like, he's got everything stacked against him for any type of script that they want to write for him.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't get it. I think we need to, well, they need to pick a side. But let's see, Lottery Guru said, after pill, the funny joint was when the male escort said Diddy got upset when they ran out of baby oil.
Can you imagine him just like having a little tantrum,
Just
throwing
throwing
it
a
on the
little
ground?
tantrum. But this is going to be a crazy case. This is going to be a crazy case, and I just don't know what to say. But my question is, what do you think? What do you think they're trying to get him on? What do you think? Hey, let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up. Come in here and hit the like button. What do you think they're actually trying to get him on?
I
Like,
think
why is the feds? Well, we know why the feds are involved because now they're trying to pull the whole trafficking card because you know flying somebody out, you know, state lines, whatever. So now the feds are involved. But what are they really trying to get him on? What is there something bigger? Like, what's going on? What do you think is going on?
that's a good question. Like an overall kind of thing. I think they're trying to do the same thing they try to do with Andrew Tate to kind of in terms of the sex trafficking. And they might be trying to set a precedent with this in terms of, like you said, redefining what sex trafficking is. Or did he upset somebody very high up? He did something wrong, and they had to slap him on the wrist and kind of make an example out of him. But yeah, I don't trust the legal system. I don't trust the court system. I don't trust these 12 random juries. And they made a point to say that each jury is just of different race. And like, what
Mm.
the fuck? Who cares? It's so like this whole system is so corrupt that
Yeah.
there has to be a bigger point to why they decided Diddy and why did they decided to do it now. They could have did this a long time ago. So
We know exactly why. I listen. I pay close attention to everything. Right. Trump is over there in Saudi Arabia. You know, shaking hands, making what they agreed to, $600 billion to help the United States with some technology bills, building some data centers and stuff like that. And you know, it's a lot more it's a lot more going on internationally. And then it's almost like this stuff is on the it's on the script. It's almost like it's on the script. Boom. Okay, before the public opinion even gives their take about what Trump is doing, boom, throw the Diddy shit out. Boom, let's get them distracted. Oh, Diddy this, did he do it? Did he? And now it's just like now people are fully distracted. Bro, this stuff is like it's almost scary in a sense.
they put a documentary out on Netflix. Everything's set up. The dominoes are falling
Um,
exactly how they were set up to fall.
I think so. I think so. Cartier, what's going on? Trump playing GTA while we stuck playing Sims. Facts. Facts. Trump is literally playing GTA. This ninja got a whole dang on what plane was that? Who gave him that? Was the royal family or something like that? Who was it? I forgot the name of the country. It wasn't Saudi Arabia, it was another country. Qatar. Qatar gave him that.
Oh,
Qatar gave him the jet or whatever. Ninja flying in luxury. He's gonna add it to the Trump library. You know, and like I said, I'm not an anti-Trumper, but some things you gotta acknowledge. According to the Constitution, it is illegal for him to do that. The amount of the amount of money that's supposed to be received as a gift according to the Constitution for a U.S. president that far exceeds that, and he is not supposed to be able to accept that without congressional approval. That's just the facts. Now everybody can argue or whatever they want to do, but the facts is that it was against the Constitution. argue with your mama. This is what the Constitution said. That's what it said, and it is illegal.
Lottery Guru in the chat says he definitely got that liquor company upset. What liquor company think he's talking about? Does Diddy have? Doesn't Diddy own Ciroc?
Oh yeah. No, he don't. No. He doesn't own Ciroc. No. So I forgot the name of the parent company, but it's a parent company that owns Ciroc. And Diddy tried to go on this whole tour talking about some. I forgot the name of the company, but he tried to go on this whole little shebang saying, "Oh, they're discriminated against me, racial discrimination, and all of this stuff, and we need to get back at them." Try to get everybody all riled up, and we looking at this ninja like, "Ninja, ain't you a billionaire?" Like, Ninja, racial discrimination as a billionaire, Ninja, please. Well, like, what are you talking about? But I think it came down to business, like it always does. It came down to business. This dude has been making hundreds of millions of dollars from the branding of Ciroc. So I think there was some kind of branding deal where he was the face of Ciroc, not actually owner of Ciroc. Many people did think that because he was the face of it all.
I thought it just now.
Yeah, I thought he did too until I read the details and everything. Like, oh, he actually wasn't the owner. This company actually owned.
He was the influencer.
Yeah, he was the influencer. I don't know how much share. I think he did own shares of the company, but it wasn't a majority share. It wasn't a majority share. But Cartier says now he's the face of the baby oil. That's crazy. That's crazy. But another thing we need to talk about. Let's see where this poll is going. So is Cassie a victim? So 19% said yes, 81% said no. Okay, that's where we are. But another thing, a lot of guys need to understand. Jay, shouts out to you. Said I'll be getting my passport soon. Where you going? Where you going? Go ahead and get that passport. Where you going?
Let me know. Guess Thailand. He's going to Thailand.
I gotta get out there too. But another thing guys need to understand is, Candace, what's going on? Yo. A lot of guys need to understand that women are freaks. Women are freaks, and they're willing to be the freakiest with the men that they deem qualified to be the freakiest with. Right? They're willing, and as you heard in the news segment, I did it because I was in love with this guy. Right?
You have to be him.
You have to be him.
That's it.
Diddy was him. He's a hip hop mogul. Power. He has the money. He has women around him. Contrary to popular belief, women like when you have other women around. This is just a fact. This is just a fact.
Because women need to know that you could replace them at any point. Because then she feels some type of competition, or she's got to keep up with her spot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're willing to do the nastiest things, for the men that they want to do the nastiest things with.
Look, you won't do that? She'll do that.
Exactly. And that's basically that. And I've heard that take. And a lot of people are saying, maybe she was more so scared of losing her position than actually, being abused. She was more scared of losing him versus actually being abused. Meaning she weighed her options almost. Like, is it really that bad? My lifestyle is, sometimes he get a little unhinged and give me a black eye. Yeah, but I still love him and I don't want him to replace me.
Listen, many such cases. All across the U.S.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. This is not just a Diddy situation. This is a regular middle class situation that happens every day. Like, oh, I have the kids, right? I have the kids. We have 2 kids together. We have 3 kids together. He take care of everything. Do I really want to leave him? Do I really, want to break up the home? And maybe it's not that bad. Maybe he will change and all of this stuff. But at the end of the day, I still feel like it's a choice. It still is a choice. And I'm not trying to take away from. I'm not trying to take away from the psychological turmoil that it does cause a woman. I'm not trying to take away, because I understand that that does play a big part into it. Why a woman doesn't want to leave, the psychological aspect of it, the love aspect of it, I get it. But at the end of the day, women also need to be held accountable for the things that they accept and the choices that they've made. Because there's no way in hell you're going to be able to tell me that all of these years you just had no escape route. Like, you couldn't have called 911. Like, you telling me we went through a whole Me Too movement. What was that, 5, 6 years ago? Right?
Yeah.
5, 6 years ago. They said that she hasn't seen him in 5, 6 years. So it went through a whole Me Too movement and all this stuff, but you wait until now, and then during that time, I mean, was there no such thing as 911? I'm confused. Was there no such thing when you got fed up? When you finally got fed up, why didn't you go ahead and drop the straw to break the camel's back? I think you could have, if you had all of these receipts, right? Why didn't you drop these bombs before? You could have ruined him early on. And if there were other victims involved in this, now you just, you kept all of this hidden. And then maybe she kept it hidden because she was also, like I said, a mastermind behind some of these parties, a mastermind behind bringing some of these younger girls, maybe teenagers, maybe
Maybe she was
minors in here.
complicit. Yep,
Yeah.
she was protecting
But
herself.
now I guess it was the I guess you played it out in your head over these years to trying to kind of remove yourself from it so it wouldn't touch you a bit. Now you're playing your cards. She's playing the cards very well, because it's kind of funny how, because he's been locked up for over a year. I think, yeah, he's been locked up for over a year, but now all of a sudden she's 8 months pregnant. Now she's in there rubbing her little belly. Listen, I don't believe in many coincidences. I'm sorry. I don't believe in many coincidences. Maybe it is a coincidence that she just so happened to be pregnant, because we know her being pregnant is going to give, the jury just something to eat up. Like, look at her. She's pregnant. She's moved on with her life. Look at her.
Canis in the chat says she might have also been ashamed, not trying to play white knight. But yeah, I could see someone enjoying the lifestyle all the time, but regretting it after.
Yeah, and I totally understand that. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to play the white knight to understand that part of it. That's why I'm trying to break down both aspects of it. Like, I understand the psychological aspect of abuse. Like, this dude does have money and power, but at the same time, it's like, okay, money and power is a pro and a con, because yeah, he has money and power to control, but then at the same time, those are the harder ones to fall. So imagine if she would have came out early on. And yeah, definitely she's enjoying the lifestyle, but then again, like, did she make the choice to accept the lifestyle over her own well-being? Because if that's the case, I mean, why are we even here? Besides, if minors were involved, then yeah, throw him in jail, throw him in prison. And then if other things were involved, he's done some things against people's will, against women's will, and then I mean, maybe even some men, even some men wills up in here. If he's done something against anybody's will, throw him in prison. Now I still believe in due process. But if he's found to be guilty of any of these things, violence, coercion, and all this stuff, yeah, throw him in prison. He let the money and power get to his head. But if we're just going to take Cassie's word for it, as if she was just completely oblivious to all of this stuff, I think this is the wrong route to take. And I think, like I said, if they keep putting her on the stand, if they keep putting her on the stand, they're going to find out the hard way. Like, dang, oh, we messed up. Defense is going to say something crazy, and like
all we need is a sharp lawyer to be like, so at any point, did you ever think of leaving or saying no? And she's gonna be like, yeah, but I was in love with him, and
yeah. But I don't even. To be honest, I don't even see them playing hardball with her. She's pregnant. She's 8 months. They're not going to play hardball with her.
yeah.
Pregnancy emotions are a real thing. Shouts out to Moore with the super chat. Where you been at, boy? Boy coming here all late. Cassie is a yacht girl for real. Yeah, she's a yacht girl. Like we understand and we know what is happening. And okay, let's bring it back to the Shannon Sharp situation. Shannon Sharp was with this girl for 2 years. They were in a relationship for 2 years, and they were into BDSM. Clear as day. They were into BDSM. They were into race play. They were into all of that. But then, okay, all of a sudden, he doesn't wear a condom when going up the little booty. Then now it's somehow, an issue. No, I think that was their. I think that was their form of that type of BDSM, right? Where he went against her,
or he forces it on her, kind of. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they were into that kind of thing, and
oof, that's risky, gentlemen.
Yeah, that's very risky. That's very risky. And then now, because it's just like Cassie. Cassie, remember the lady? She was just like, "Oh, I thought we were in a monogamous relationship." Yeah, okay. With Diddy, all right. I don't even who even comes to a powerful man with with many resources that can get any woman that he wants to in the world. Yeah, you thought you were monogamous with him. Get out of here. Come on now, women. They get beside themselves when they talk about this whole thing.
That's like men today believing in love.
Exactly. You really thought that this mogul, he flies all across the world. Yeah, but you're the one that's going to make him monogamous. All right, yeah, sure. But the girl in the Shannon Sharp situation, she thought the same thing. Now my viewpoint changes if they were leading them to like, okay, you're the only one. Now you deserve everything you get because now you led her on to, okay, I believe, I love you. You're the only one for me. But then, you're actually not. Come on, bro. Don't lead her on. Let her know.
Guys lie like that though to keep them around.
Exactly. But why does a multi-millionaire, you're famous. Both of these guys are famous and can get any woman that they want to. You're gonna lie to them? Come on, man. You're gonna lie to them?
I mean, they don't have to lie because, like you said, they're multimillionaires. But they'll still lie if they think she's gonna leave. If they mention that, hey, I'm not gonna be monogamous with you. I'm gonna have multiple girlfriends. Most women are not gonna be down for that. Some will, but
yeah.
The guy wants to keep her around.
Yes, he was with her for 2 years. They were in a relationship for 2 years.
Yeah.
Moore says these dudes are cornballs. Give me all their money and I'll move it to the bottom and start a legal brothel and have my Chico come home, fellas. I mean, it's just I don't get it. But like I said, with the whole Shannon Sharp situation, yeah, she had moved. She even moved to because I think Shannon Sharp stays in Vegas. She even moved to Vegas to be closer to him.
She wanted to
be that okay. Yeah. She thought it was more than what it actually was, and you led her to believe that it was more than it actually was, and now she found out that okay, there's other women involved. Okay, now I'm gonna make you look crazy. Now this is when all logic goes out the door. This is like now I'm going. This is the whole definition of scorched earth. Now I'm going scorched earth. Now I'm gonna make you look crazy. Now I'm gonna make you look like you were abusing me.
Now I'm gonna ruin your life and make your empire collapse.
Exactly. But when you really read through it, you can clearly see what they were into. But then they're talking about there's a video. Come on, y'all, are y'all that dumb?
No, but
Like,
you see what the mainstream media does though? They play the clip of Shannon saying, "I'm gonna choke you. I'm gonna say that." Like it's it's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's disgusting what the media does.
And you get persecuted. You get persecuted before you even reach the court.
Yeah, it's called the court of public opinion.
Yep.
Right.
What's going on in the chat? We have to stop giving the F what women think and just take it back to 1989. If most men didn't care about women's feelings, this would never happen to any man. It is not happening, more. I love you more, but it's not happening.
Yeah,
it's not happening. Listen, and I'm even careful myself. For an example, I'm gonna make a whole video on this because other stuff had happened, within this. But when I was in the gym today, two girls, they were working out or whatever. They were trying to do pull-ups. But there's one machine that helps you, the pulley right there that you put your
the knees on.
Yeah, your knees on. So that's one machine, but they have another one that doesn't have the pulley on it. And they were just, trying to do pull-ups or whatever. I seen them struggling and all that. Just went over there, gym etiquette. We all friendly around here, trying to teach them like, hey, you grab her. And then me being in the military, I was trying to teach her how we did in the military when people were struggling to do their pull-ups. So, hey, grab her by the feet, tilt up her ankles and, help her, push up. And, even the other girl, she was struggling to do it. So I was like, I walked up to her and before I was about to touch her, then I was like, oh shit, Shannon Sharp. And I was like, hey, do I have, is it okay if I touch you? He was like, yeah, sure, go ahead. And, went on about my business. Listen, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Listen, they gonna
After pills over here asking for consent in the gym. Ooh.
You listen. People think the way that I talk and all this stuff, I'm just going around snatching up chicks like, yeah, come over here. No,
now you're gonna be one of those that when you go to hug, you're air hugging her. You're not touching her. You're going like this.
Right. Right. I don't take it that far, but this was a woman that I just met. I don't know her boundaries. Right? I could have touched her, and she could have. You just never know. She could have been a victim. Like I've seen situations.
You could have went directly to the front desk.
Like SA, they have an ick with stranger guys touching them, and that can turn into a whole thing. I'm just like, listen, do I have permission to touch you, man? Do I have permission? But I'm gonna get more into that video. I'm gonna talk about consent, in that video because the friend actually ended up laughing at me because I asked for consent. Which it threw me for a loop, and I'm like, "Why are you laughing?" Like, I asked her, "Can I touch her?" Because y'all in here butt booty naked, skinned, and I'm just trying to make sure that I have permission to touch you, and it ain't no funny business. I'm just being friendly, just trying to show you how to do the workout. That's it. But she busted out laughing. I'm like, I mean, what's funny? Like, but that just goes to show you that there's no line. Like there's I'll even take it as far as, and we had a live stream on that before, but I'll take it as far as that there's no real such thing as consent. There is, but there isn't. Because clearly, as we've seen with these guys, the moment a woman says no, that can be within any moment. You can be mid-stroke, she says no, boom.
You gotta stop. You just gotta stop.
You gotta stop. The moment, she finds out, oh, you got other women, oh, you know what? I'm gonna make it look like I don't agree to any of this anymore. Now you're deemed the aggressor. So does consent even really exist if it can be withdrawn at any moment? That's my whole point. Because then, like I just asked for consent in the gym. Then after pill takes off, I'm at 50,000 subs. then yeah, that was that. Yeah, that guy. You know, he was rubbing
That
on
guy
my
touched me
leg
inappropriately
in
at
the
the
gym,
gym.
rubbing me inappropriate. Here come the feds. Do. Yeah, after pill, we're gonna need you to come in for some questioning.
Just be
I'm
like,
like,
hey,
what did I do?
just be like, check the camera footage. All right, that's
Right,
clearly me
exactly. Check the
asking.
camera footage. Camera footage gonna be all on the shade room. Yeah, it looked like he did a little rub there. Yeah, that was a little bit. He didn't have to go right there. That was too close to the knee, Ninja. That was too close to the knee. Yeah, we're gonna have to $10 million, Ninja. but like I said, you never know. You never know. And I'm a gentleman. I'm a gentleman. Like as much as I get up here and talk shit and everything like that, like my true essence is a gentleman. I show women respect. Right? And I'm not like one of these red pill ragers, like I have to disrespect women. No, I don't have to disrespect women because first and foremost, usually women show me their best side in the first place. Right? I know that doesn't happen for all men, but it happens for me. So I don't have to get into those kind of modes. Yeah, you do come across, your disgruntled women. And, sometimes you got to give them a few words or whatever. But that's everybody. But I usually get the best of women, and I treat them with respect. They treat me with respect, and it's just I enjoy that feminine aspect of that respect level. So yeah, I'm a gentleman at heart. Like if I have to ask for consent, that's just what it's going to be. And then doing this whole YouTube game and pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, eventually, it's definitely going to go up, to the moon. I'm like, yeah, I'm not about to get Shannon Sharp, right? And I've even spoke on, there's people who've caught wind of my videos, right?
Hmm.
I've had some, my daughter's in dance, right? There's some moms that have caught wind of my videos, and there's a whole thing with that. They caught wind of my video. I've been called basically. Let's just put it like this: I've been called a misogynist. Basically, I've been called a misogynist by the dance moms, and I'm
it's
like,
that
that is not the case at all.
it's that sneaky Instagram algorithm. They show you, oh, you
Yep,
might know this person. They go to your
yep.
page,
I
they
already
click your
know what it
YouTube.
is.
There you go.
It's predictive programming.
Yeah.
And this is why I try not to show. I try not to show my faces. I try not to show my face. You know, uh, where my family is, if you get what I mean. Because I don't want to get. I don't want to get it to. Eventually, it's just not going to matter. Eventually, it's not going to matter. But like, I don't want to show my face because I kind of feel like if I show my face, then I'm going to pop up. Like that's how I feel like it works because if I show my face, then I pop up and I'm like, yeah, that's that ninja from ain't that her dad right there. Yeah, that's that ninja right there. That ninja online talking about some women are not worth anything past this age. Yeah, that ninja is a misogynist. He's a misogynist. I'm just like, dang, I'm not a misogynist. I don't know why women to catch hold of this. I know we have some women who watch me, not that many, but I'm not a misogynist. If anything, I am the complete opposite of a misogynist. I love women. I love women. I just want to see y'all be great. That's it. I just want to see y'all be great, and I'm also telling the truth about what is going on in our society.
Also, if women watched our content, they could get a lot of great tips on how to land a good man, just basically by us telling women what men really want. Like this is the
Exactly.
alpha. This is the alpha for women in terms of a lot of insider baseball, right?
Right.
Men can gain something, but also if women are watching these channels, they'd be like, oh, so a man just wants a woman who would bring them peace and make, support their lives and make their lives easier and be, fun to be around, pleasant, right? Feminine.
Mm-hmm.
Most of these women don't even know any of that. So
Yeah.
they can learn a lot.
Lucas said it's a bit of a sausage fest in the screen. Ninja, what do you expect? Ninja, you think women over here want to hear this? What do you think it's going to be? Yeah, it's a sausage fest. Pause. Ninja, pause. No Diddy. But yeah, who else said something? They label anything anti-feminism, narcissistics, and all that bull. Yeah. If you're an a-hole from day one, it's easier. Don't be Mr. Nice Guy, and then be asshole, the whole time. Yeah, I mean, I kind of tread the line of, gentleman and just direct, and that directness comes across as an a-hole. But you got to think, like, when I say gentleman, I don't mean nice guy, right? You're like, there's certain lines, there's a spectrum to it. Now, when I'm a gentleman, See, women peep game too. They know what's going on. They know who's who and which guy's a whole bitch, and they know who's faking and flossing. They know. I'm the type of guy who, I'm a gentleman, right? I'm a gentleman because I can take it there if I want to, but I choose not to take it there because, one, I want to see all of that femininity. Go ahead and give me all of that femininity, right?
Yeah,
But you can see in my eyes and the way that I talk and I present certain things. She can be like, oh yeah, he's not playing. Yeah, I'll submit to you, daddy. I'll submit to pause. Oh, Diddy. whoa. But yeah, they'll definitely do that to the, like I said, to the right guy. You don't have to be an extreme a-hole. Some chicks I have come across where they want you to dang near abuse them. Now, I'm not, I'm not with all that. Now, some chicks legitly just want to be abused, right?
they want to be slapped hard.
They want to be slapped hard. I done heard some crazy stuff. And I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, even just feeding into this topic right here, I mean, a lot of women ask for stuff like this, right? Even who's the latest girl that he was with? What's her name? One of the little city girls, whatever their name is. I don't know what their name is, but he was with one of those girls, and she said on her show, verbatim. She said verbatim. She says, I don't mind a little golden shower. That's what she said on her show verbatim. That she said, I do not mind the golden shower. Let me tell you something, gentlemen. From speaking to certain women, I'm gonna tell you right now, they're doing things that they're not allowing you to do. Let's just put it like that. Like I've heard some wild stuff. Some wild stuff. Like y'all just think that it's only the escorts, it's only the prostitutes that are doing this stuff. Let me tell y'all something, man. There was this girl that I wouldn't have even guessed. Well, I'm gonna bring up two girls, but the first one I wouldn't have even guessed. Right? She just looked just plain Jane chick that you'll see in Walmart, whatever, Kroger, wherever you need to shop at. Okay, but just a regular plain Jane, and she was a sugar baby. She was a sugar baby. Like full fledged. I think she's even quit as of now. I think she went full sugar baby, full time.
Probably retired. Yeah.
Yeah, but she was like 23. And there was another girl I wouldn't even have guessed. Another plain Jane. Plain Jane has a whole OnlyFans.
They're hiding in plain sight, bro.
They're hiding in plain sight, but dudes don't realize it. They think they log on to Instagram and they think that it's a certain look.
Yeah,
no. Like, bro, first of all, there's so many fetishes. There's like a million different fetishes. Dudes have fetishes for nerds. Dudes have fetishes for the gamer chicks, fat chicks, black chicks, white chicks,
old ladies, grannies, yeah,
grannies. I've seen grannies. I'm just scrolling, just looking for content to talk about. And I see whole grannies popping up, shaking a little booty, and I'm like, what has the world come to, nigga? What has the world come to? Like, this stuff is real. So when you say, oh, yeah, it must be her, you're wrong. You're wrong. You can go outside right now And any one of those chicks that you pick out could have an OnlyFans or be a SEX worker or could be in some form of fashion in some of the dark work, right? Shouts out to Moy again with the super chat. Moy says, by nature, females are more hedonistic and more disgusting. Boarding school and sleepovers taught me that. Just sex, but outside they're gross. Yep. Oh, they get real nasty. They get real nasty. I remember this one chick. I remember this one chick back in high school. I remember this one chick back in high school, bro. She used to let me do everything to her. And I'm talking about everything. Just use your imagination. I used to do everything to her. And she was the first chick, she was the first chick to let me do everything to her. And I was in high school, I think it was like 9th, 10th grade, maybe junior year. I think I messed with her. We were on and off like all of high school. But I used to be excited to see her. I'm like, yeah, ain't no girl let me do none of this, like just go crazy. And, I think she's married. She's married. Like to a good dude.
Yeah, you think she's letting him do all this stuff?
It's debatable. Maybe. I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
But it's just like, like girls were starting this way back when. Now, if you're a guy that didn't get to experience it, because here's the thing, most guys don't get to experience it.
Not
so
today.
It's hard for them to fathom, like, that this stuff is going on because they never got to experience that side of the field. But for me, I was experiencing that side of the field early on. So it's like, I kind of got wind of like what girls were out here doing, very early on, right? I knew chicks who were, listen, that had to be a separate stream. That had to be a separate stream. I knew this stuff early on, but let me tell you this story. Let me tell you this. Did I tell the story before? Did I tell the story yesterday? Anyway, I'll tell it again. But I was at the gym again. And this, dude and his chick working out. Dude, his chick, boobies perked up to the max, like that. You can see like half her breast, and then like she had on a onesie. And her cheeks, literally, lie to you not, her cheeks were out. So guess what? Yeah, I'm a testosterone-filled bull, nigga. So yeah, what's going on over here? What's going on? I'm gonna look just like I'm sure every other man have just looked, right? So I'm just looking to see what's going on, walking by, grabbing the little towel, to wipe off the machine I just got done, got sweat on it or whatever. So, of course, I looked or whatever, man. When I walk by again, to throw the towel away, guess what this dude do? This dude grabbed literally as I'm walking by, he grabbed his girl and then just started kissing on her head.
That's so pathetic, dude. That's so pathetic.
I almost bust out laughing.
Oh my god! I can't stand when I see that insecure behavior in public. Like you gotta claim your territory and show people how lovey-dovey you are.
Right.
And, like that shows me that you have no confidence.
No,
and that any other guy could just come in here and
it's insecure, right?
Yeah.
And that's not that stuff has happened, plenty of times. But it's just like it comes across to me that that your girl is on go.
Yep.
That's what that comes across to me. That she, because let me tell you something, guys.
You don't trust this girl.
Right. Hopefully none of you guys are this type of person. But when you do that, your girl knows too. Don't think for a second that like she didn't know who just walked past. Don't think for a second she didn't know which dude or which dudes that you just got insecure for.
She loses respect for you every time you do it too. If
Absolutely.
you were to just come off like I don't give a fuck, right? And just be
Yeah.
like, whatever, do what you want, right? And then she'll be like, oh, so he doesn't care, right?
Absolutely. And I've seen
So,
dudes who I remember specifically, it was this short Russian dude. It was a short Russian dude. Natasha was like bad. Like she was a bona fide 8-9. Like it was no way that I wasn't looking. It was no way that I wasn't looking. And I was working, right? And I seen him, and I knew he had money. I was looking for his car, but I couldn't see what car he got into because it was nighttime. But I looked at his wrist, and he had the Rolex on. I'm like, okay, yeah, he one of those. Okay. And I looked at his chick, she, got her whole fit on. Of course, Natasha, she all perked up too. And I looked at her, and I'm like, yeah, that's it right there. And he seen me looking, and I lie to you not. He looked at me, and he was like, I swear to God, he looked at me, was like, yep. Looked at me dead in my eyes, like, mm-hmm. Looked at me dead in my eye. Short dude, short Russian dude. Rolex on. You think he was intimidated of me? No. Dude got a Rolex on. Like I said, I didn't see his car. I'm sure he was driving something nice out there. Dude got a whole Rolex on. You can tell he got money. Like they was dressed in some Gucci, whatever. Bro, I knew he had money. Like
Mark in here just says something hilarious. He says, I see these types of dudes sometimes. They're hanging on to these chicks for dear life. Exactly what they're
that's
doing.
true too. That's true too. Yeah, make sure y'all hit the super chat. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Go over there and subscribe. I got a pin to the top of the chat. He has started a new channel, gentlemen. He started a new channel. Go ahead and shout it out again, TC.
Yeah, appreciate everybody in the chat tonight. I started a new channel. It's called Unfollow the Script. Basically, society has a script that it has for everybody. Go to college, do all this bullshit, get married, whatever, but it's time to unfollow the fucking script. And that's what my channel is going to be about. I got dating relationship type content on there, then also, talking about society in general and life. So you guys can do me a solid, just go over there, sub to that channel, check out some of the videos, and yeah, shout out to Afterpill for hosting me. That's he's a stand-up dude.
Yes, sir. we may have to start doing more of these. Just some pop-ups. Just sit back and kick shit and just But we have to do more of these. But yeah, like dudes, it was another dude. I have stories on top of stories, man. I be telling the chat, I have stories on top of stories. There was another dude, right? Chick was, she was straight, but she had the fatty. She had the fatty, and she was dressed, she was actually dressed pretty modest versus, the gym chicks. She was dressed pretty modest. She just had on a nice dress. Listen, men are gonna look. That's just what's gonna happen. I don't look when I'm with my chick and a dude look, they like what they see. Okay, cool. You look like if you're not being disrespectful, like just looking at his chick like dead in his face.
There's a creepy way to do it, and then there's a normal way to do it.
Right, that's a normal, okay, he's a man way to do it. We all do it. But as long as you're not being disrespectful, like people are gonna look. So, his chick was in a nice sundress, and she had the fatty, right? So I looked at the fatty. It was fat. So, I lie to you not, bro. This man had, because he caught me looking. Sometimes you get caught. It is what it is. But then sometimes when they see you, right, they kind of expect you to look, right? Because they'll look at you first. They'll look at you first and kind of expect you to look like, yeah, I know he about to look at him. Yeah, he think he can take my chick. Yeah, I'm gonna watch him. And lo and behold, he was watching me, because when I looked, he looked. He was already looking at me when I looked. Bro, I lie to you not. This dude,
the fun.
this dude was standing behind his girl the whole time. I swear to God, you would think this stuff is like a video game or some shit.
Like
And
a parody.
when she turned, every time she turned, he was turning with her, like
He was
trying to block the view.
covering her ass.
Yes. And I'm like, are you serious right now? Bro, you cannot be this insecure. Your
That's some
girl
clown
can't control
behavior.
how fat her butt is, and you up here blocking it. No way you just did this. No way you just did this. And this is why I continue to say, like, listen, there's only gonna be 10%, there's only gonna be 10% of men who really 10 to 15% of men, I'm sticking to the 90-10 rule. There's only gonna be around 10 to 15% of men who actually get on their purpose, get on their grind, and get to the places that they need to be. There's not gonna be that many men who get away from this, this fairy tale world, lovey-dovey world, bow down to women, women are everything, putting women on a pedestal type of world. Most of these guys out here are completely lost. That's my take. Many guys out here, they're absolutely lost. They're going to continue to do what they do. It is what it is. I can't save it. I can't save it. I think TC froze up a little bit. TC, you froze. TC froze. I guess he got to get his camera together. Oh crap! Well, TC gone. TC froze and now he's gone. Well, you got the link, TC. Just hit the link again. I think. Just hit the link again, TC. But yeah, Cartier hiding the fatty at bro. It's wild. It's wild. Let me read some of these comments. Moy says, "Game over for 1950s." Game been over. We're in the afterfield, bro. Don't even if you see me start to grift a little bit, don't get mad at me. When y'all start to see me start to grift a little bit, don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. Because listen, this is the day of the afterfield now. Like red pill. In actuality, let me play. This is what Andrew Tate actually said. I think he had music on it. But the day of the after pill, I mean the day of the red pill and all that stuff is over with. Did I save that video? Let's see. Did I save that video? Okay, here we go. It got music on it. So we're gonna see. Let's see. Fuck everything. Broken fuck nothing. Back to the day one. I'm gonna keep pausing it. Done. Here's the real red pill for you. Rich men and 20 girls on the table have sex with all of them. And brokies sit there messaging girls and don't reply. That's red pill. There it is. Done. There's no fucking little tricks. There's no game. You're not gonna neg her. You're not gonna sit there as a brokey and go, hey, I like your hair. But it would look better if it was cut another way. I read a red pill book. And her sit there and go, oh, the man who works in Starbucks. You like my haircut? Let me suck his dick. Never gonna happen. Brokies are never getting laid. The red pill is done. The world's transactional. And Dubai, huh? You heard it. You heard it right there for you red pill ninjas. There you go. For you Andrew Tate ass ninjas, you just heard it out the horse's mouth. You just heard it out the horse's mouth. He literally just said this is out of the red pill king himself. You just heard it straight out of the horse's mouth. Right? You heard it straight out the horse's mouth. Red pill is dead. The world is now transactional. The red pill is dead. The world is now transactional. Who was that just super chatted? Let me get back over to that tab real quick. Unfollow the strip, my bad, phone died. But shouts out to AP for the collab. Got to do this more. Appreciate chat. Have a good night, gentlemen. Shouts out to Unfollow the Strip. TC Prime over there. Shouts out to him. Go up there and subscribe to the channel. But yeah, y'all just heard it now. Y'all just heard it. So now you see that even Mr. Red Pill King himself now. Mr. Red Pill King himself now is denouncing the red pill. Seems like somebody's catching wave to the after pill. Somebody's catching wave to the after pill now. The red pill is done. The world is now transactional. That's it. That's it. So Devin sounds like he's being sarcastic. Says you got the stories all right, big dog. You trying to be sarcastic or what, Ninja? Are you trying to be sarcastic or what, Ninja? Right? But let's check on this poll. Is Cassie a victim? Okay. So as far as right now, there we go. 81% says no, and 18% says yes. Oh, Devin says I was saying they entertain me. But now, as y'all can see, listen, money will make a chick do strange things. Money will make a chick do strange things. They'll do something strange for a piece of change. As you can see, man, not trying to absolve Diddy of any kind of guilt or anything like that. If he's guilty, he's guilty, right? And if he's been abusing people, he's been taking advantage of people. If minors are involved, Ninja, I think that he should be persecuted to the fullest extent of the law, Ninja, right? He should be persecuted to the fullest extent of the law. But how they're trying to paint Cassie as if she's some kind of victim, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. She couldn't have been complicit out of all of these years, right? All of these parties, all of these sex parties, all of this stuff. I don't think she was complicit, right? I think she was actually one of the masterminds behind it. If you were here earlier, I played a news clip, and the lady was basically saying, Diddy used to plan them, right? Diddy used to plan all the parties, right? And then eventually, when they got into a relationship together, then Cassie is the one that started planning it. So it's not like she just, oh, I don't know what's going on. She knew very well what was going on, right? She knew what she wanted, right? She wanted Diddy. She said she was in love, right? She also knew who Diddy was. Clearly, he's Diddy, right? She knew where the money was. She knew where the resources were, and she was willing to do whatever she could to please this man. Not just because she was in love, no. Also because she probably was promised fame. She probably was promised a record deal. She probably was promised that, hey, we're going to take you on tour. We're going to do big things. She probably was promised a lot of things, right? She probably was promised a lot of things, and those things didn't come to fruition like she thought they were. So now, Ninja, that those things didn't come to fruition, now she's going scorched earth like many women do. Alex Glass, shouts out to Alex Glass for the super chat. I appreciate that. But now, that the relationship is over, she's been all used and abused. She's not suing him for the events, right? Which she's already won that lawsuit already. He's already paid her out, right? She didn't sue him for the events. Oh, he abused me. Oh, this, that, and the third. She really didn't sue him for that. She more so sued him for basically using up her youth. That's what he was sued for. He was sued for using up her best years. He was sued for taking advantage of her best years, right? You promised me that we were going to be something, right? I thought I was that girl for you. You made all these promises to me, right? I thought we were forever. I thought we were going to get married. I thought this, I thought that, right? It wasn't more so the things that they partook in. It wasn't that. No, you'll be a fool if you think it was that. Now, as far as the domestic stuff, now that's a whole separate thing right there. Now, as far as domestic abuse, yeah, he should be persecuted for that too, right? Just like as we seen with the Shannon Sharp situation, he was with her for 2 years. So you were with this you were with this woman for 2 years. You were with this man for 2 years, but now all of a sudden he's the big bad wolf. He's a big bad wolf now. Now you're withdrawing consent after 2 years. So he's an abuser. He's an aggressor. But then you move closer to him in Vegas where he stays at. Does that sound like common sense or somebody that is sane to move closer to their abuser? No, that doesn't sound right to me. No, he probably made her promises. He probably led her on to believe certain things, or led her on to believe that, hey, you are the only one for me. And then she find out that, oh, I'm not the only one. He got a bunch of little chicks running around here. Some of these chicks look better than me, ninja. Some of these chicks look better than me. So now, okay, now I'm not the only one. Okay, now I'm going scorched earth, right? This is really all that is. Devin says, I don't know if I can get a rub and tub no more, man. It might get allegations. Yeah, it's getting very tricky out here now, guys. Right? Mark M says, the only reason I think she's a victim is because he groomed her at a really young age. He kept her in line with physical violence too. That's what I've said. If that is deemed to be true, then he should be persecuted to the full extent of the law. I'm not absolving him from any of that. I'm not absolving him from any of that, especially physical violence. But I think groomed. We need to look at that more so with a microscope, because what are we saying? What are we saying when we say groomed? Right? She's 24 years old. So what that he's 17 years old? Men have always traditionally been older than women throughout history. So what do we mean groomed? So now we're talking about 24-year-olds can be groomed. 24-year-olds can be groomed. I don't think the physical violence came right away. Right? I would have to see the proof of that. I don't think physical violence came right away. I think they were in a relationship for a while before domestic issues start to arise with like regular relationships, right? Usually when people are in relationships, because this happens in regular everyday America as well, right? When people get into relationships, it just doesn't start off, oh, he's swinging at me and giving me black eyes. No, it doesn't start off that way. No, eventually it kind of progresses into a domestic issue on both sides, right? And we can't just say that just because he had the money and the power that he was the sole aggressor. Of course, the video makes him look bad. Yeah, the video makes him look bad all day long, right? And she wasn't fighting back, so yeah, that makes it look horrible. But we can't just say we can't just be quick to say judge and jury that, oh, he was the only aggressor, because we don't know what their dynamic truly was. He's just the only one that's been caught on video. Maybe they both were involved in hitting each other, as we have seen with many domestic situations, especially in America. Usually it's mutual, right? A lot of localities, a lot of jurisdictions, they lock both parties up in domestic situations, especially when they can't determine who's really the aggressor, when they can't really determine who's who and how long this has been going on. A lot of jurisdictions, they lock both parties up if they can't come to a true determination. If they just don't lock up the man, right? They'll just lock up the man regardless. But if they can't come to a conclusion, they'll just lock up both parties, right? Mark M says that's possible. He's not the type of guy a woman can easily walk away from either. He blew up that dude's car she was dating. Yeah, that's crazy. Like I said, the rabbit hole is going to go deep on this one, right? The rabbit hole is definitely going to go deep, and it's no telling, because I think they have around 60 days. 60 days, if I'm not mistaken. And today was day 2. So they have a lot to unravel. Yeah, they have a whole lot to unravel. Devin says first world problems. Yeah, and Devin made a good point. She wanted to be groomed. Listen, man. Let me tell y'all something, man. This is only an issue when it gets to the courts, which I find it quite odd. Right? It's only an issue when it gets to the courts. If you've ever been in a let's just say, a manly position, if you've ever been in a position of, I guess, authority in a relationship, women will tell you that, hey, I want you to take the lead. I want you to give the say so. I want you to basically, what do you like? What do you want me to do? Right? Do you like this hair on me? Do you like this color on me? Like I want to do your bidding. Right? I want you to tell me how you want me to be. Do you want me to wear this? Do you want me to wear that? How do you like me? You like me nice? You like when I talk like this? You like this? You like that? I want you to take the lead. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. Women already let you know that they want you to basically, for lack of a better term, ninja, groom them. Basically, like grooming, like this, there's a whole negative connotation when it comes to grooming, right? And clearly, when we talk about it's so funny because when we talk about weddings, right? I guess it goes over Normie's head, the bride and the groom. That goes over everybody's head. The bride and the groom. What do you think that connotation is? If this man is truly the leader, he's in an authority position, right? You're taking her as your wife. You're taking her as your wife, right? You are grooming her, which you have to. You're grooming her to be the woman that you want to be for you. That's it. That's it. So yes, women are groomed. Everybody throwing the word around like, yeah, he was grooming her and all of this. Yeah, I did some grooming too. Yep, I groomed chicks too. Yep, yep. In that case, you might as well say all men are guilty of grooming, right? Or I guess you could say masculine men are guilty of grooming. That's just how the cookie crumbled. But people just throwing it around like it's just such a negative connotation. It's like it's almost sounds like they put it alongside like pedophilia and all that stuff. They put it like on the same level. Like yes, she was groomed, and not how y'all are trying to put it, but no, she was groomed because she wanted to be groomed. She wanted to do these things, right? And if you were here at the beginning, I played it. The commentator, the reporter said that she did these things because I loved him, right? I did these things because I loved him. I did these things because I felt like it was my responsibility to do this. This is what was said in court. This is what was said on the stand. So how is that like the grooming connotation that a lot of people try to throw out there as if like when people say grooming, when they throw it out there, they almost mean like force, right? She was forced to do this. She was forced to do that. Not initially, no. Now we will see as far as as the court, as the court proceeding, proceed and more details start to come out. We'll see if he actually forced her with violence and stuff like that. But initially, no. Initially, no, they were on one page. They had little, threesomes and all of that stuff. She was on par with it. She was on par with it. She wanted those things. She was, calling up the sex workers. She was making the plays. She was doing that. That doesn't sound to me like a woman that is trapped. That doesn't sound to me like a woman who's just, being, coerced into all of this stuff. And, it just don't sound right to me. But anyway, that's enough of this live stream. I appreciate everybody that super chat. Make sure you go and subscribe to Unfollow the Script. Shouts out to Alex Glass. Shouts out to Moy. Shouts out to Mark. Shouts out to Cartier. Shouts out to all the members. Shouts out to Blake Bradley. Shouts out to all y'all. Shouts out to everybody. Lucas. Shouts out to all y'all. I'll see y'all in the next video. See y'all in the next live stream. Make sure y'all get some sleep, Ninja. Make sure you wake up and get some money, Ninja. Read a book, Ninja. Get your passport, Ninja. Right? Get out of town, Ninja. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.